And I wouldn't bring 50 strategies. I have like 5 ways that I play. I literally have 5 ways that I typically play that I move between. I don't do a lot of advanced crazy stuff. I realize that the games are not that complicated. We make them overcomplicated. I have 5 simple things that I really kind of switch between. That's about it, right? Gamble. 10 ways to be a great gambler. Now, I don't know that there is a way to be a great gambler. There might be 0 ways to be a great gambler. Maybe the best way to be a great gambler is not to go. And I say that tongue in cheek. A lot of people have said that, the best bet you make is the one you don't make, right? Like ultimately, every bet puts your cash at risk that you worked hard for. You either worked hard for it at a casino, building up your bankroll, or you worked hard for it in your day job and you're putting it at risk, right? The best bet is not to make a damn bet. But if you're gonna bet, I think there are things that you can do that will make you, quote unquote, great at it. And let's take a look at some of the thoughts that I had, and then I'm gonna bring in some of your thoughts, okay? So ways to be great at the casino. I think number 1, you play with only disposable money. And we're gonna have an entire month, Gambling 102 is gonna be all about money management. It's gonna be all about how to build your bankroll to play with and how to use that bankroll successfully or tactically at the casino. So number 1, being great means only playing with money you can afford to lose. In my case, I've created a bankroll for the purpose of losing. Like I got a bankroll that's set aside for my casino play that this is it. I'm putting this money aside, totally happy to lose it, right? Don't want to lose it, but it's okay if I do. Like if I do a side job, coding job, and I make 5K, thousands going into that account. It's burn money, right? Play with disposable income only. The second thing, and I think this rolls into that, is having a financial plan. And again, our next series is going to be all about a financial plan, and it's all of it. It's where does your money come from? How do you store your money in your bank account? Multiple bank accounts, perhaps. How much do you bring? How do you play it out, right? What is your financial planning? I think it goes a long way because you're never going to feel the quote unquote risk. You're not going to sweat it so much when you know it's part of your plan, and part of your plan has got to include potential losses. I think furthering down that road, managing your stack of chips is an important thing. You've seen my video. I think my most popular video, the one that I'm known for the most, is the rack management video. My very first video I ever put out was on rack management. I know that other people have done it. I know Grafstein's got a way that he manages his rack. I know a lot of guys have done things. I have my own way of managing my rack. I put my starting bankroll in one spot, my play stack over here, my profit stack over here. I manage my rack at a craps table. On a blackjack table or a baccarat table, I manage my stacks in a very, very specific way. We're going to talk about this coming up, but managing your stack is what keeps you from having to do math during the game, because sometimes during the game it gets complicated. You've got a lot going on, like how much money do I have? Where's my profit? Knowing where your profit is at all times, how much profit you've got at all times, critical. So learning how to manage your stack or your rack, I think makes you a great gambler, because again, it keeps your focus on where you are with your money. And I say this a lot to you, be goal oriented. I think a gambler without a goal, right, is like you're asking for trouble. I don't know what the analogy there is, but if you don't have a goal, you're just winging it. You just might as well mail them a check. I really believe that. Be goal oriented. Win goal and a loss goal both have to be stated ahead of time. And your goal's got to be something you can stick to. Okay. I think you got to know the math. And I'm not talking about calculus. I'm talking about what the house edge is. I'm talking about what the probabilities of winning and losing a bet are. Quick division and multiplication tables are good for you to be able to know where you are. Knowing your payouts is important too. Being able to quickly know what your cards add up to. Like that kind of thing is important, I think. And knowing basic math and being good at it quickly is an important thing. Flashcards help you out there, right? I think knowing your game is important. I think if you're going to play craps, you better know every single bet, what they pay, how they work, the game rhythm. If you're going to play blackjack, you better have that card memorized, the simple version and the advanced version. You better have, if you're going to count cards, right? You better know your bet leveling plan, right? Know all of it. If you're playing baccarat, you better know how the dealer is counting those cards up. Know what's coming, know what you expect, okay? All of it is important. Roulette, you got to know, right? How to mix the bets up and how that whole distributive property works. That's a very important thing. Knowing your game You go out there without knowledge of the game, you're just give them your money. Just give them your money, right? That's a big important thing. I think bringing multiple strategies is important. Now, in some games, there is no strategy, right? Pie Gal, your strategy is how much money are you betting? In Baccarat, your strategy is how much money are you betting and where are you going? Are you going to go looking for a specific weird pattern? Are you looking for all banks, looking for following the shoe? Whatever it's going to be, know your strategy, practice your strategy, and have multiple. Like sometimes when you go follow the shoe in Baccarat, you're going to get destroyed. It's going to go chop, 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 chop. You're going to lose every bet, right? So your strategy could be, I'm going to follow the shoe, but I'm ready to go with a ladder in case it goes south so I can get my money back. I'm going to go follow the shoe until I lose 3. Then I'm just going to pick a side and stick with the side until it levels out. Know multiple ways to play your games. Play craps, pass line or dark side. Play craps with across bets or hopping bets. Play craps with multiple ways so you can switch when you feel like it's not going your way, right? Sometimes you catch a bad rhythm. In a game, having a thing to switch to catch the right jump, like I say, you're off by 1 sometimes. If you can fix an off by 1 error by just changing a strategy and saying, let me just jump into it here and change the rhythm for myself, that's important. But if you don't have any extra strategies that work for you, it's hard to do that. And I wouldn't bring 50 strategies. I have like 5 ways that I play. I literally have 5 ways that I typically play that I move between. I don't do a lot of advanced crazy stuff. I realize that the games are not that complicated. We make them overcomplicated. I have 5 simple things that I really kind of switch between. That's about it, right? Have them though. That's an important thing, is have your strategies ready to go so you can bump out. I think, and I've said this before, embracing variance is the key. You'll never see, and I'll use craps as an example, and roulette too, right? You can use both games. You'll never see a perfect 36 rolls. You'll never see a distribution of 36 rolls that's the exact right, 1, 2, 2 3s, 3, 4. You're not going to see the exact pyramid ever. In roulette, you're not going to see 37 or 38 rolls that exactly have 1 of each number come out. It just doesn't happen, right? When it doesn't happen, it's a variant. Right? The expected thing is 1 on every number in roulette comes out of every 38 rolls. Because it doesn't happen, that means something had to repeat. Either a dozen repeated or a column repeated or red repeated. Whatever it's going to be, the variant that happens is real. On craps, it happens all the time. You hit 3 or 4 4s in a shooter, right? 4 4s before a 7 is a variant. Embrace that. Know that there's going to be variance and know how to bet them. Right? Jump out of or bet low in a variant where it's not going your way. Jump into or bet harder in a variant that is going your way. I use the pass line as a good example. Minimum bet while you're losing. When you win, you stack it up. If you keep winning, you half press that pass line bet. You start embracing the good move. You bring more money back to your rack, right? That's a way to embrace it. You bet more when you're winning, less when you're losing. When you lose, back down to base and you stay at base until it happens, right? Those are important little things to remember. Embracing variance is important because variance is the norm, variance is not out of the ordinary. It is the norm. You're always in a variant. And if you don't recognize that and bet it correctly, you're going to have a problem. And I think you can't predict the variant, but you can sure as hell be in it. People call it trend betting. Bet what's coming. That's what they're talking about, right? Bet what's coming because odds are something is going to come multiple times that shouldn't. And if you're on it early, you're on it early. That's a good thing. Okay. The 9th thing is practice. I think Waylon's got a series of videos out right now. Waylon's Way Craps, where he's pulled out his craps table like from his shoebox or from his closet. He's got this old thing that he made with chalk and stuff, right? It doesn't matter that you have built a practice table like I did. It doesn't matter that you didn't buy a casino blackjack or craps table for your home studio, right? You can buy a craps mat on Amazon for $60 and you can buy a set of dice for 10. Yahtzee dice are fine, doesn't matter, right? You can buy a blackjack layout and a deck of cards for cheap. Practice your game. Sit there with cards, honestly, and run hands. And practice counting the hands, not card counting, just practice, 5, 4, 9. plus 3, 11, or 12, and just kind of get your card counts going. So you can look at the set of cards and see the picture that is the number, that these 4 cards add to 17. Practice that so you're a machine, right? Same thing with baccarat, same with roulette and craps. Be a machine with what you're doing, so when you're at the casino, you aren't in your head thinking about it, right? I talk a lot to you about your mental toughness and your mental strength at the tables. I don't want you to be thinking about things. You should be on rote. You should be mechanical with it. You should be machine-like with it. You practice your betting, practice the cards, practice the counts, practice everything. Matter of fact, it doesn't hurt you to learn how to deal your game of choice, whether it's, again, blackjack or bac or roulette. Learn how to deal it so you can understand, A, what the dealers are going through and makes you a better tipper, but B, it helps you understand your payouts and how things move around. I can't stress practicing enough. Practice. If people don't talk about this, I made this channel initially so I could practice with you live. I think practice is where it's at in any endeavor. In any endeavor, practice. You got to be a machine so you can just go out there and execute, right? If you're a machine and you can execute, you can have more fun because you aren't spending brain cycles on what's happening. What's happening is just fluid for you. That's what I want to see, okay? And I think the last thing I say is be mentally tough. All this comes into that, right? Being mentally tough. Look, we talked about yesterday, not being quote unquote that guy, not being affected by that guy, being able to be focused and dialed in on what you're doing. Eliminate the music. Unless you're in the party mode and you're machine-like, you can enjoy the music. Otherwise, block that out. Block out the rude guy. Block out the loud lady at the end. Block it all out. Be mentally tough and focus on what you're doing. Okay. And again, if you've done everything else I've talked about, you're going to be in a situation, I think, where you don't have to think about being mentally tough. You just are. You don't got to think about your strategies working because they just happen because you've got them here. You're more mechanical with it. I think I want you there. If anything to highlight here, it's the practice piece. You practice. You set those goals, you manage your money well, you're going to be a great gambler, okay? And by great, I mean you're going to lose less than other people. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to leave us a comment here in the comment section for the video, but really better still, join us on Discord. Go to casinogaming.tv and hit the community link in the menu there and join our Discord. That's where me, other YouTubers, and all of our subscribers hang out. We sit there and talk strategy and just BS kind of all day long. It's a great way to get connected and stay connected and kind of interact with the team, learn about meetups and get-togethers and all that kind of stuff. So with all that said, again, thanks for watching. I really appreciate your time. God bless you, and I will see you in the next one.